Hello and welcome to Route 99. This is BPM 93. We're reading an RC today. We'll read this passage and try to answer the question that follows it. Kasi realism, a term that may conjure thoughts of abstract art or illusory depiction, is actually an intriguing domain in meta-ethics and the philosophy of language. So Kasi realism, which may sound like an abstract or illusory depiction, is actually an interesting domain, an interesting part of meta-ethics and philosophy of language. Originated by philosopher Simon Blackburn in the late 20th century, the concept has become one of the most fascinating and debated issue in contemporary philosophy. So it was originated by Simon Blackburn, and since then it has become a topic of discussion. It has become a topic of debate. To laypersons, the term may appear misleading, but within the complex framework of ethics, it offers an eye-opening perspective on the nature of moral discourse and value judgment. So, to maybe a plebeian, to maybe a general person, the term may appear it could appear to be misleading, but it has very complex frameworks of ethics, and it offers an eye-opening nature of moral discourse and value judgment. Right? How does it do so? Let's find out. At its core, Kasi realism grapples with the grand question of moral objectivity. Okay, so it mainly tries to answer the question of moral objectivity. Moral objectivity, as in, there are two things: there is subjectivity and then there is objectivity. Subjectivity का मतलब होता है personal opinions, which is subjective to you, means that is limited to you. Objectivity is something general. A fact could be objective, an opinion is subjective, right? So at core of it, it tries to answer the question of moral objectivity, as in something which is considered moral by everyone. Traditional moral realism asserts that moral statements like stealing is wrong refers to the objective truth in the world. So there is this theory, traditional moral realism, which says that terms like stealing is wrong, that refers to objective truth. Objective truth as in कि ये सच है और ये सबको मानना है. This has to be taken as a fact, right? Much like the earth revolves around the sun. So this is a fact, and this is in the line length of stealing is wrong, right? Meanwhile, emotivism, there is other theory as well, which is emotivism. Emotivism, which is a contrasting view, argues that such statements merely express our individual feelings or attitude. They are more like cries of yuck than factual claims. So, emotivism says that all these things are very subjective. Like this yuck is shown here to represent disgust. So, if you don't like something, you say that stealing is wrong. So, that is your disgust rather than a fact that maybe you don't like stealing. That is why you're saying that stealing is wrong. But that doesn't make stealing a crime, right? Kasi realism carves a niche between these positions, providing a nuanced approach to understanding morality. So, whereas Kasi realism draws a balance between these two things, traditional moral realism and emotivism, and gives a balanced approach to both of these. In Kasi realism, moral statements are treated as expression of our own attitude, but are also capable of being true or false. So, in Kasi realism mixes both of them. It takes something from traditional moral realism. It says that it could be a fact or it could not be a fact. And at the same time, it takes into consideration the subjective opinion of a person. How is this possible? How can we accommodate both of them together? Blackburn proposes that through a process he calls projecting, we enrich our ethical language with a veneer of objectivity. When we say, so Blackburn, the founder of this word Kasi realism, suggested that we could do it by a process called projecting. How does projecting works? When we say stealing is wrong, we are not just expressing a subjective dislike for stealing, but projecting our attitude onto the world. So when we say that stealing is wrong, we are not just stating a fact that stealing is wrong. But at the same time, we are projecting our attitude on the world that we believe that stealing is wrong. Right. As if they are objective quality, and we show it as an objective quality. जब हम बोलते हैं कि stealing is wrong, We say it in a sense that it's a fact, right? This enables us to engage in a meaningful moral discourse, debate, and even disagreement, all while acknowledging the fundamentally subjective nature of ethical statement. So, what is it trying to say? That maybe that stealing is wrong, the statement stealing is wrong could be an opinion, but I say it with so much conviction that I believe that it is an objective truth. I can debate upon it. At the core of it, I know that it's my subjective opinion, but I say it with a belief that it's a fact, right? So that is what the author is saying. That is what Kasi realism is: accepting the subjectivity of the truth, but treating it of objective nature. The genius of Kasi realism lies in its ability to navigate the skilla and sharpties of ethical theories. So why Kasi realism is genius? Why does it works very well despite putting together two oxymoronic theories together? On the one hand, so on the one hand, it sidesteps the metaphysical commitments and complexity of moral realism, such as the puzzling existence of moral practice in the universe. So, let's just read further. On the other hand, it avoids the nihilistic limitations of emotivism, which undermines the very basis of moral argumentation. So it removes the weak negative parts of each of these theory. So metaphysical commitment से वो क्या हटाता है? It removes the complexity of moral realism. So how people say that moral particles are responsible for moral behaviors in the universe, etc. तो वो सब भी हटा देता है. At the same time, it also eliminates the nihilistic limitation of emotivism. जो सब चीज़ों को सब्जेक्टिव मान के चलता है, राइट? तो वो दोनों की जो फ्लॉज हैं वो हटा के एक नया थियरी देने की कोशिश कर रहा है. दैट इज कासी रियलिज्म, राइट? दैट इज हाउ इट नेविगेट, दैट इज हाउ इट इज जीनियस, हाउ इट्स नेविगेशन थ्रू skilla and cerbides of ethical theory is genius, right? It offers the best of both worlds. Yeah, it is offering best of both worlds. It removes these complexity in traditional moral realism, and it removes the subjective basis of this emotivism. So it is just taking the good from both the theories and providing us best of the both worlds approach, embracing the expressiveness of emotivism while borrowing the truth apt language of realism. The implication of Kasi realism extend beyond mere philosophical navel gazing. It offers a compelling framework for ethical debate in real world, especially in our polarized times. So the Kasi realism is not just a philosophical discourse, an intellectual discourse, but rather it's a compelling framework. It has something concrete to say, right? And we need something like that in our polarized time where there has been a lot of misinformation, people are divided. If we accept that moral judgments have Kasi realistic nature, we can engage in moral empathetic dialogue that respect the subjective viewpoints without dismissing the possibility of objective discussion. So, right, if we accept Kasi realism, we are accepting moral judgment, we are accepting its nature, but at the same time we also acknowledge its objective truth and we project it, right? And that is what we need right now. We accept other people's opinion, but we at the core know what is right and what is wrong. The balance is crucial in contexts ranging from politics, law to everyday ethical dilemmas. So this is relevant everywhere: politics, law, and everyday ethical dilemmas. However, Kasi realism is not without its critique. So Kasi realism has its own criticism. Some argue that theory is too accommodating. Some believe that it is too accommodating, as in it takes into it everything. It took something from emotivism, it took something from traditional moral realism. So the theory is very accommodating, reducing the lofty domains of ethics to mere semantics. Others believe that the Kasi realist project of imbuing subject statements with objective validity involves a kind of trickery, a smoke and mirror act that obscures rather than clarifies moral discussion, right? So there are some who believe that is too accommodating, it accepts everything, and then there are others who believe that it is a kind of a trickery, a smoke and mirror act that obscures things, right? That hide things, that just makes things look blur, right? There is no clarity in the theory. Despite these criticisms, this is author's opinion. That author is saying that despite all these criticisms, Kasi realism remains a pivotal force in the contemporary philosophy, breathing new life into the age-old debates. In a world where the lines between subjectivity and objectivity are increasingly blurred, be it through social media echo chambers of polarized politics, this compelling concept invites us to reconsider the nature of truth, ethics, and human interaction. So author is saying that despite these criticisms, despite whatever they are saying, Kasi realism is still very important, right? Because it respects the opinion of other people, but at the same time, it depicts the truth, or it depicts the morals with so much conviction that there is scope for the right path to be established, right? There is scope for uh, there is scope for reducing the spread of misinformation, etc. Right? Chalo, let's move on to the questions. If someone says that betraying a friend is bad, which one of the following best describes the interpretation of Kasi realism? So what would Kasi realist say? That yes, this is my opinion, but he would try to project it as a fact. The statement acts as an objective moral declaration about the unethical nature of betrayal. Huh. So this just talks about the objective part of it. So this would be traditional moral realism rather than Kasi realism. Right? So this is not my answer. This just involves objectivity, that this something is fact, something is bad. The statement reflects personal disapproval of betrayal, but is also treated as if it were an objective truth. Yes, it involves both the things. It talks about subjectivity, reflects personal disapproval, and at the same time it is also considered to be an objective truth. The statement functions as a declaration of personal emotional stance without the pretense of objective moral validity. Again, they have not taken into consideration objectivity. The statement signifies an endorsement of universal moral laws that should govern human conduct. Again, objectivity, no subjectivity. So this is also not my answer. This is my correct option. It involves both the point of view. It talks about objectivity, it talks about subjectivity. Okay. The genius of Kasi realism lies in its ability to navigate the Scylla and Charybdis of ethical theories. Which one of the following is best explanation of this sentence? Okay. Kasi realism astutely charts a course between the Scylla of moral realism and Charybdis of emotivism, creating a new ethical framework. Does it create a new ethical framework? No. Kasi realism cautiously skirts between Scylla of moral realism and Charybdis of emotivism, undermining the very basis of ethical theories. Is it undermining the very basis of ethical theories? No. Kasi realism adeptly maneuvers between Scylla and moral realism and the Charybdis of emotivism, blending them to create an amalgamation of ethical principle. Yes, this is true. Why it was called genius? Because it takes good things from emotivism, it takes good things from traditional moral realism and create a perfect blend, right? So this seems correct. Kasi realism skillfully navigates between the Scylla of moral realism and Charybdis of emotivism, selecting the strength and eliminating the weakness of each. Okay, but if we look at this 3/4 is very specific. It talks about how it selects the strength, it eliminates the weakness. Like in the passage, it says that best of both the worlds. So this over this is a better explanation, hence 4 is my correct option. Which one of the following best describe author's opinion on the criticism towards Kasi realism? Okay. How did author reacted to the criticism towards Kasi realism? He said that despite all these things, there are some merits to it. So he did not dismiss the criticism. He said that when he said despite all these criticism, despite the critics, he meant to say that he accepts the critique. He did not dismiss it. Right, so this cannot be my answer. The author acknowledges the criticism without necessarily endorsing or refuting them. Yes, this exactly is my answer. It just acknowledges the criticism. It neither endorse it nor refute it. The author believes the criticisms are unwarranted. Does he believe that? He said despite the criticism. He never neglected the criticism. So this is also wrong. The author endorses the criticism while also providing the utility of Kasi realism in modern society. It does talks about its utility in modern society, but does author again endorses it? No. So this is my correct option. All of the following cannot be deduced from the passage except cannot be accepted, except negative would create a positive. Moral realism and emotivism are not relevant in today's world. Can we infer that? Can we say that whether or not it is relevant or not relevant in today's society? No. Moral realism was individual feeling, views individual feeling as something with little merit. Okay, although we have read that moral realism talks about objectivity, but we cannot say that we cannot say whether it consider individual feeling of any value or not. Right. So this is also not my answer. Blending subjectivity and objectivity might offer valuable insight into ethical debates. Could be it. Emotivism accommodates that evaluative proposition expresses fact about world. Emotivism talks about subjective opinions and not objective truth, right? The evaluates proposition that expresses facts about world. Facts is again objectivity, but emotivism talks about subjectivity. So this also cannot be my option. Hence 3 is my correct option. Okay, so that was the video, guys. I'll see you in the next one.